Masco is a global company. Do you look elsewhere, Europe and Australia, for trends in terms of the issues and the solutions as well as the technology?
Yeah, we have a well-known German company which distributes products worldwide. They probably have our biggest plumbing presence on a worldwide basis, so we're sharing and learning from them. They're trying different things. We've got a large, well-known faucet company in the UK, and their plumbing systems are quite different in terms of not having pressurized hot water systems, generally speaking. And so, you know, water conservation, how they get a good shower with not a lot of pressure can be a challenge. So there's things to learn there as well.
I think we might have time for a few questions before the lunch break, and there is a lunch speaker, so we do have to stay on track. But are there questions for the panel? Any of the panel members from out there? I have a few. Yeah.
Hi, thanks. This question's for Doug. When you talked about your 50% savings over like the 1990 study versus the early 2000 study, where did that savings come from? What caused that 50% savings when you went to your system? What I'm hearing is probably a lot of it had to do with irrigation and the types of systems you had, but what about the internal plumbing aspects? Did you really see a savings there?
You know, we think there's a savings there, but when you look at something on a mass scale, and keep in mind that the average home in southern Nevada was using 70% of its water outdoors, it's hard. The landscape irrigation obscures the plumbing differences. Some of those older homes also may have been retrofitted. You know, they may have been remodeled. They may actually have 1.6 gallon toilets in them. Our Water Smart homes now have HETs, 1.28 gallon toilets in them or less. And so I guess what I'm saying is it's not that the indoor stuff isn't important. It's absolutely important on so many different levels. But in my community, it's all about irrigation. It is the first place we need to look for greater water efficiency. And then we obviously focus on the indoors after that. But the difference purely came most notably from irrigation demand.
If I could just say, when we were developing the WaterSense home specification, I mean, we had a lot of focus on the indoor aspects of the specification, but we got a lot of requests from our utility partners to make sure we didn't not have an outdoor part to this specification. And it was really hard to put in place. We got a lot of resistance from the outdoor industry on it, but I mean, that's where most of the water use is around the country. I mean, it's a large percentage of water use, and so if we failed to do anything on the outdoor portion, we would just basically be losing all the savings that we gained on the inside portion of the specification.
I think we're going to have to limit to one more question.
John Swarfield from Scotland. Two comments for Doug, really, because I thought what you were saying was really very meaningful. The Environment Agency in the UK gave a whole bunch of people grey water reuse systems in domestic homes, and after a year decided it was a disaster, that unless you were an enthusiast, your home actually lost value by installing one of these things. And I think we've sort of decided that the only place where this works is where you have a facilities management system inside the block of apartments or whatever you're actually doing for it. On unintended consequences, I think there is one that we haven't actually addressed with grey water reuse, and that's to do with what you call drain line carry, the movement of waste solids in the drains, that effectively with low flush WCs you're relying on the long time-based discharges from baths and things like that to support your water saving on the WCs. If you take that long time-based water flow and store it and only use it for flushing WCs, you will find that you have other problems in your drain lines, which may mean you have to reduce diameter or increase slope, which you can't do with installed infrastructure. So I think there are some unintended consequences there. And for the last speaker, showers don't work in the UK. That's why we have pumps.
All right, thank you very much, panel. Great job. Really appreciate your contribution.